started this book in 2015, and I'll just give you this as background. I started this book because I was uncomfortable with the political situation. I was uncomfortable with political discourse. And this is a political book that never mentions politics. This book is in a response to the transactional view of relations. This book is about people who have to imagine each other. It's about a marine engineer at sea in the 80s, and he does something that no marine engineer ever wants to do in the 80s. He falls in love. And this story book is about people whose value, whose own self-worth is tied up to the way that they imagine other people. Who are you, or what do you imagine? I think the Beatles, the love you take is equal to the love you make. Well, who are you, or what do you make of other people? What do you find in other people? And this is a story that happens at sea. It's a sailing story, but it's really a love story. And it's about how we know each other, and knowing each other, know ourselves. First passage is going to walk through. At the beginning of the book, we find Lucien in a state of dismay. He has jumped ship at Lock 3, gone down to Lock 1 in the Rowan Canal. So he's right there by Lake Ontario, and he's done that, he's cabbed down so that he can get on the phone. Because he has been writing to Olivia for 1 month and not getting a response. Now the only way you get a response is to mail comes to Lock 3, and the ship's in Lock 3. But he got off at Lock 3 and not to Lock 1. And there's been no mail, and he's been writing long letters. He's been writing long letters that he has been sending, and he keeps thinking, these are so dull. She's not going to be interested in me. Because he's just writing about what's happening around him. He's trying to tell her who he is through these quotidian things. So he gets off at Lock 1, he's going to call her, and he finds that the payphone has been cut. And so he smashes it. And that's how we meet him. So he's waiting there, and all the ships are going by, and finally his ship comes. The Sioux River Trader goes by, and we have that passage, and he remembers his first ship, and then this other ship comes by that he's going to get on, and he gets on the ship, and we have this bit. So he gets back on the ship. Wandering into the afterhouse, he is met by the lurker, a 40-year-old chain smoker whose talent is for blowing smoke rings without having a cigarette in his hand. No one is ever impressed. "Did you get your mail?" says the lurker. "What mail?" "From the post office at Lock 3. "Missed it. Went ashore at Lock 3 to use the phone. Where is it?" "The cook said you were waiting for something and you put it in your cabin." "That's considerate." The lurker makes a face. Whatever his real name is, no one on the ship uses it. He knew you'd wake him up if he did. "Your hand bleeding?" He checks. "No, it stopped." In his cabin, Lucien finds the letter on his bed, an odd-shaped affair with Olivia's return address. He rips into it to find a hi-fi chromium dioxide cassette labeled Lucien Attempt Number 3. He shifts the mess on his dresser, retrieves a Walkman, flips out a copy of Remain in Light, replacing it with Olivia's cassette. The batteries are kept. The professor finds the battery, then he's back in his cabin with its yellow-stained walls and the countless smokers who've held his rank and slept and awoken in his cot. He drops onto the lizard-green settee, bolted to the deck beneath the cabin's only porthole, pulls up his legs, crossing them under his body, the way schoolchildren sometimes sit at their desks when they've overcome their fear of the teacher. Eyes closed, he listens to Olivia's voice. On a 90-minute cassette, she has spoken 3 words. "I love you." 3 a.m. and she hasn't answered her buzzer. So he's written something. He's written 4 words on an envelope, in a letter. That's it. He's going to reply with 4 words. That's what we have to find out what they are. One of the things in the book. So 3 a.m. and she hasn't answered her buzzer. The ship just got into Halifax. It was a surprise. They leave Montreal and say, "Oh, we're going to go to Port Arthur. The contract's been changed. We're stopping in Halifax a little bit off." There's been plenty of opportunity. He rings one last time, counts to 5. Then he's on the street, confused by an intermittent shadow thrown by a defective streetlight, the nodding acknowledgement of loss. The car whips past, its open windows emitting laughter, the smell of marijuana, the squeal of a balcony door wrenched open. He turns to a voice from above, Olivia. She is perched on the rail of her balcony, a hand cupped above her eyes to shade the rippling light. "Lucien! Lucien?"